Hello and welcome to Study with Sudhir. The ICSE Council has reduced the syllabus for various other subjects as well. In fact, I would say most of them are as per the 2021 syllabus with a few additions and deletions. Of course, English we saw a large portion of both the ISC for class 12 and ICSE class 10 was reduced. It isn't quite the same with history and civics, which we are going to discuss today. So for those of you who haven't seen the reduced syllabus, you need to go to the council's website, which is cisce.org. Here you click on publications. You come to the reduced syllabus for ICSE and ISC year 2022 examination for class 10 and class 12. If you click here is when you go and you can see the various subjects out here, and here we will click on history and civics. Okay, so now let's get to the specifics of it. Now let's look at civics, and I'll keep it simple. You can read this pretty much. I'll tell you the difference between 2021 and 2022 because that's what will be of concern to you. Most of this is pretty much the same which your senior batch studied but did not appear for the examination. The difference is that this time the Rajya Sabha has been included, which was not there in the previous year. Okay, the rest of the thing is pretty much the same, and here you have the qualifications of the president's election, etc. This is pretty much the same. I'll tell you what has been added this year, and that's what you need to make a note of. The vice president, but it's only the qualifications for election and terms of office. His functions are not part of the syllabus even in 2021, which was part of the syllabus for 2020 and the previous batches. So vice president, you need to know about the qualifications for his or her election and the term of office, 5 years. Then the prime minister is pretty much the same. Now here, things like the formation of the council of ministers and the functions of the council of ministers. Now for students who are part of the century batch, I have spoken about the functions of the cabinet and the council of ministers because that's something which you need to know, because unless you know that, you will not be able to understand this properly. Okay, that's what I believe. So students of century batch would know that I have spoken about all this and explained that in great detail so that it becomes easier to understand the collective and individual responsibility of the members of cabinet, the distinction between the council of ministers and the cabinet, so that if there are any kind of tricky questions, they'll be able to negotiate that. Okay, but it's not part of your syllabus. It's entirely up to you. Then the judiciary, what they have done is, last year they had only the Supreme Court. This year they have restored this chapter, the 5th chapter on the high courts and the subordinate courts. So this is the new part as far as your 2022 board examination syllabus is concerned. Let's now come to history. History is pretty much the same. No changes at all as far as the Indian history part is concerned. The factors leading to nationalism, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Jyotiba Phule, the Indian National Congress, the first 2 sessions, they are not asking for anything more. This is exactly a copy paste of what was the syllabus in 2021. Okay, even in the mass phase of the national movement, the Gandhian era, it's pretty much the same. No change at all. Forward block, Subhash Chandra Bose, the independence of India, nothing really changes. Now, what changes is in the world history, in contemporary world. All this is the same. The First World War, in which the causes are to be discussed, the results, and they are spoken only about the Treaty of Versailles, not the other results, but it's always helpful to know. Rise of dictatorships has been restored, but here you need to know basically about the similarity between the ideologies of fascism and Nazism. Okay, this is something which has been reintroduced in 2022. The Second World War, this is pretty much the same, nothing else changed. The United Nations, what they have done is that earlier you needed to know only about the names, the expanded forms of UNICEF, WHO and UNESCO, but now they are talking about the functions also. The non-aligned movement chapter has been reintroduced. Okay, so 3 chapters. Last year, out of the 15 chapters, 3 chapters were removed. The rise of dictatorships, the non-aligned movement, and one more. Okay. The High Court chapter. Okay. So, this time, they have reintroduced the 3 chapters back. The non-aligned movement is back. But here also not much. You just need to know the basic meaning of the NAM movement, the non-aligned movement, the objectives, the names of the architects of NAM, which is Jawaharlal Nehru, President Nasser of Egypt, and Joseph Tito. Okay, so that's all you need to know. So those are the few changes they have made. So compared to 2020 and your senior batches before that, the syllabus is much shrunk. But compared to 2021, थोड़ा सा increase किया गया है as far as the syllabus for history and civics is concerned. So that's as far as the history civics is concerned. English, we have discussed it in detail, and we would be doing the entire English chapters on our different batches for both ICSE and ISC, class 9, 10, 11, 12. Century batch, the remaining 3 chapters, we'll be doing it very soon so that you're up to speed as far as the entire history civics syllabus for 2022 is concerned. Thank you very much for watching.